the power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Alrighty, more seat of your pants flying. Hey everybody, Stocking Bay 94. Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby here with you.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And woo! Here we are. We made it. It's been a day.
Talon Thorn made it too.
Hey.
Talon Thorn.
Right on.
Hey.
Let's see.
It's just the four of us.
Let me get the chat up and running. You know, just in case someone says something important. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I spent way too long going to the doctor today. It took a while. Let's see.
So, Jeff, tell us about Western Day at Knott's. Huh.
Well, maybe Jason has just run two of them. Okay. We can hear you.
Well, apparently we can, but the people on Twitch cannot hear Jeff.
Really?
Yeah. And Facebook can't hear Jeff either.
That's weird. All right. Well, let me see what's going on. Hold on.
Hi, Don.
Right.
Hey, Boba.
Hold on. Let me try that. Okay, Jeff, say something.
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
Okay.
I don't know.
You should be better.
I heard that.
All right, you guys let us know if you can hear him.
Hello, everybody. Can anyone out there in TV land hear me?
We're just going to put words in Jeff's mouth. I've decided Jeff's going to sound like this.
Don says yes.
Okay.
And Lori says
yeah.
They
hiya.
can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Weird.
Yay!
Kit says
Yay,
good now.
technology.
Oh,
Boo.
cool. Oh, golly. This has been happening. Okay, gosh. Let me just repeat exactly what I said.
Do it. Go for it.
Went there with Sparrow. The other kids were either working or at ALA. So we went there and met Jason and such and everybody at the bar that's inside of Mrs. Knott's Kitchen Restaurant, and just kind of briefly sat there talking, and then we got in. From that point, we went into the park, but weird. It's about the only time I think I've ever been inside that place too. Was just to wander over to the bar and stand there talking to them. So eventually, I'll eat there. That's but we went in there and I'm trying to think what we did first. I think the first thing we did was we went in and went to the bottle house and we painted badges. You could, it was like like $10 to buy a little, to buy a badge.
Like a sheriff's badge kind of deal?
Yeah, like out of ceramic, porcelain or whatever, and then paint it, and then they clear coat sealed it, because in a kiln and using the right and the proper stuff on it would take way longer than with paint and a clear coat. It's like half hour, but with the kiln and stuff and the stuff used for ceramic painting, which I can't remember since I haven't done that since high school. You have to go into the kiln.
Right,
it's gonna take a while, but you
glaze usually.
Yes, and then you'd have to like wait for that all to cool down before you could ever glue a pin to the backside of it.
So you had
Anyway.
a little sort of what do they call those places in the mall where you go and do ceramics? Color me mine. Little
Yeah, I guess so.
color me
Yeah, a little
mine
bit like
moment.
that, yeah. So we did that. Painted them up, and then fixed them on, and then we wandered over from there to Calico Saloon, and Sparrow and I had sarsaparillas. So
Good choice.
yeah, and yeah, I was dressed as Woody again. Not really. Not my outfit isn't the cartoon Woody, so to speak. It's not meant to look exactly like a cartoon, or it has stitches that fold in my elbows and knees and such.
You were doing
it's
like
more-
Woody in real life.
Yeah, as close as I could get it anyway, without going overboard like such. I'd have to like switch out the shirt with like something heavy wool and whatever. A lot more stuff would have to be done to make it much more how it would have looked. And Sparrow was also cowboyed up, had like a old rodeo shirt with on with the vest I wear for that for the chimney sweep outfit. So
Cool.
I was wearing, Sarah was wearing that with jeans and stuff and her cowboy
Yeah.
boots and all
You
that.
guys look pretty good in
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think from there, we went, did we go on I think from that point, we went over and met people outside the train, and then got on the train and rode the train with our own car.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. And then we went off to eat, and then came back and met again and did some little video things with Jason, and that was pretty much it. And then Sparrow and I wandered off and to go on like rides and stuff, and get pictures with Snoopy Claus and
Snoopy Claus.
I'm gonna have a nightmare.
yeah.
I
Yeah, so
want
it's,
Snoopy NASA now.
Yeah, so when you go to Knott's, they have this I'm not really sure what they call it, but it's just like large barnish sort of thing, but it's not really animals. It's over by Bigfoot Rapids and the Mystery Walk that's no longer open.
Right.
And they have like, you go in there and during Christmas time, there's Santa in there. You get pictures of Santa, and you get hot cocoa and cookies and whatever other stuff they've got in there, like booze
That's cool.
and such. Yeah. And so after Christmas, it's Snoopy. So, I think even during Christmas, sometimes Snoopy is, interspersed with Santa, but after Christmas, I think it's just Snoopy.
Just Snoopy. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did that, and then and I think we just went to a few stores after that, and headed on home after that, because we were beat.
Well, you did enough.
I got there early, and those cowboy boots, comfortable as they might be with the insoles and stuff, still are not a comfortable walk.
I have a pair of cowboy boots that used to belong to my grandfather,
Yeah.
and he broke them in for him, and then I had to break them in for me.
Yep.
And I think I still have them because I don't get rid of anything, but they might need to be resold. I think I overbroke them in.
You never know. I
Yeah.
mean,
But it takes a while for them to get
Yeah.
comfortable,
yeah.
and you have to wear them
Apparently,
all the time.
Yeah, I think the pair that Sparrow had on were pinching the toes a bit and such, so they got uncomfortable after a while. Mine were just uncomfortable because no matter what I've got in there insole wise, it's still like you're walking on horseshoes, clomp, 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 because it's just like
Right.
there's not really a give. There's there's no pad, so to speak, with in cushioning and the sole of the shoe. So you're just clunk, clunk, clunk.
Well, and depending too, a lot of times the toes are pointed, which means your toes get smooshed, and
Yeah.
they often have like 2-inch heels on them because
Yeah.
cowboy.
Yep.
So that can mess you up too.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you take them off, and the balls of your feet feel really funny. But yeah. So
But you can
it was
relate
fun,
to all
though.
the women who wear
Yeah.
high heels in your life.
Yeah, sure, totally. Yeah, no. But it's still fun. It was still fun, got to go around and doing that. And like, of course, kids coming up and wanting pictures.
Because you're Woody. Right.
I'm like, am I allowed to do this? I guess I'll do
Does
it.
Knott's have an easier, do they allow that?
I guess so. I don't think there's, I don't know if there's a rule against it or not.
Well,
to be
you're not
honest.
really being Woody, and you're not at a Disney park, so
Yeah.
you're probably
And I'm-
okay. So
And
Jason,
I'm not really them.
right? Jason Ibarra is a friend of ours who's part of the
Yeah.
car club. He does the Ninja Turtle van, and he's
Yeah.
got a Transformers car and a bunch of things like that. And so Jason runs this event, and Jason shows up frequently as the pie thieves
Yep.
from the old ride at Knott's.
It's a berry tail. So
Right,
crafty
and
pie
so
thieves.
so he shows up as the crafty pie thieves with his girlfriend,
Yeah.
or fiance or wife. I don't know the status of their relationship currently, but and they just wander around and be the pie thieves. They've like decided that they're just going to be a character at Knott's, and that's what they do. And people take pictures of them and whatever. And I don't
Yeah.
think Knott's stops them
Yeah, I
from
don't think
from
it's a
doing
big
any
deal,
of that. So
but I still go, I don't know.
well, it's a very
Concerning.
gray line. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to goof around and be cowboy costume, whatever. And I mean, we walked, Spiro and I walked over a lot of like other areas, in our cowboy outfits. So it's weird not to be in the ghost town part in your
And be in
outfit.
cowboy clothes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem we have at Disneyland, though, when we're like, Star Wars bounding, and then you're on Pirates of the Caribbean in Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Exactly.
That's always kind of a problem. But the other event that you sort of teased, you sent information on for Colleen and I, was
Yeah.
like a Roaring 20s Day.
It's in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah, it's coming up, and
I believe
that
it's,
sounded kind of
April.
cool too.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about that one. I'm guessing it's basically about the same thing. You come in, 20s attire.
Yeah. It sounds like basically after the sort of Dapper Day thing,
Yeah.
everybody's trying to do a Dapper Day wherever it happens to be. Like there's
Yeah.
Dress to the 9 3/4,
Yeah.
which is over at Universal, and everybody's encouraged to come in Harry Potter stuff, but fancy Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
And that's like the Dapper Day over there now. And so it sounds like this is the Dapper Day of Knott's, because
I guess
everybody's
so.
got to have
Yeah.
one.
And I think the 20 section is not quite as large as it used to be. I think it's shrunk a little bit. So
I remember they were taking some
But,
stuff
yeah.
out. Yeah.
yeah, they changed a few things, and yeah, it is a little different. So there still is stuff that I think the Bonnie and Clyde light car is still over on the edge of it. So, but yeah, I mean, it's neat. I don't know if I don't have 20s attire. I can
Well,
probably fake it.
You
but-
get off easy. Men doing 20s, 30s, 40s clothes is like really super easy, because men's clothing hasn't changed that wildly over that time period. So you can
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
go through your closet, find something appropriate, and wear it.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Conversely, you could just dress like Indiana Jones. And go with
True.
Indiana
Like
Jones.
World War, yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know if I have any. Well, I guess I do have 20s day wear.
Yeah.
I have more evening wear. I have dance dress.
Okay.
But I suppose I now have a an outfit I've been wearing the last year or two that's like jod purse,
Yeah.
sort of.
You can put together like a
outfit.
Poncho Barnes kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know when I don't remember. Excuse me. I
Well,
don't remember
Goodness.
what the date was of that.
Colleen's been
April
drinking.
2nd.
Yeah.
It
I'm
is
not
April
sure
2nd.
whether I will be available.
Yeah.
So-
We have a vacation in mid-April,
Yeah.
and so we might be getting ready for that. It might be taking up all our time.
Could be.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. That's doesn't really say. They're just going to have like photo ops and a ride takeover.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty much what they're
which
gonna
is
do.
what they
This
do
is
for
kinda what we
for
did.
Dapper Day. Is
Yeah.
everybody just comes in nice clothes, they take a big picture,
Yeah.
people do whatever they want, and only in recent years has it expanded to be their sort of marketplace thing that they do now, which is a completely separate ticket and separate thing, and like
yeah, I remember
outside
them
of a
doing
park.
one of those at like a hotel nearby. They were doing some sort of little.
It's at the Disneyland Hotel usually,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
Grand Californian. They'll do one of the two.
Okay.
And yeah, it's it's where you can go buy Dapper things. Mela used
You can
to
go buy dapper things.
Yeah, well, that's their whole purpose is like sell Dapper stuff. And they have their own shop. Dapper Day's like a business now, so they have their own website with
Gotcha.
all the stuff that
Yeah.
their merch.
But, yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I think you'd probably have fun at least doing the Western one and probably this one too. But
Yeah, they both sound really fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those things
Yeah.
that we'll probably do eventually. We just have to
Yeah.
make sure that we've got the date set aside for
Yeah.
it.
And it's not, and like, it's like Knott's is not a very big park. To be honest.
No.
Compared to like say Disneyland.
Oh, it's
not
even
like
more
this one,
impacted than Disneyland is. They have a
Yeah.
very limited amount of space, and that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It's pretty
So-
nuts.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good.
Like last year was a lot of fun, so this one was too. So
Cool.
there's, I don't know. I don't think he's posted it to his YouTube yet, but there is a video somewhere.
Oh, I saw it already. I saw a
okay.
video of the train.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Jason took a video with a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So fun.
Yeah. It was fun.
Sean and I were investigating the possibilities of doing an event in Griffith Park,
Woo!
the Mary Poppins event. We're still going back and forth on it a little bit. And as part of that, we went and looked at one of the tiny trains that are available in
One
Griffith
of
Park.
3.
I thought there were only 2. I thought there was one at Travel Town and one at
Is it
the
like the train that we rode at least the one time I actually got to do the event there?
yeah.
Okay.
It's bigger than the train at the live steamers.
Oh, okay.
There are 3 trains, and they start with the small one at the live steamers, and then they get larger with the one that's over by the carousel and the pony rides, and then the one at Travel Town is even bigger than that, I think.
Oh, okay.
And so they get larger in size. But I think the one at by the pony rides has the longest track, and we had quite a long ride on it.
Yeah.
It was
Cool.
actually pretty fun. Except, so we got there and we went and looked, and it said that they closed at 5 or something like that,
what the
4 or
heck?
5. And then somebody said, "Oh no, they're open for Christmas light rides still until 9."
Oh, neat.
And so we went, hey, great. And so we went and we did some other exploratory stuff. We went over by the carousel to check out the carousel, which was closed.
Okay.
And we went to go look where the live steamers was. And we got back, and the line was insane. We missed our opportunity. If we'd waited, 10 minutes or something, we'd have been in the front to get tickets. It wasn't that big a deal. It was just really funny because we walked back, and it was like a huge line.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not that bad. Yeah.
So
We had fun.
Yeah,
nice.
it was fun. Except for the bubbles going in our face. I'm not a fan of having
Right.
soap bubbles in my face.
I posted a video over on Facebook of some little bits of our ride. The ride was quite extensive and they had little display things. But if you watch the video, you see the bubbles flying into the camera. There was a kid with like a lightsaber style bubble wand, and all the bubbles were coming out the tip, and they were just clobbering us. It was
Tiny bubbles.
no
make me
big
cry.
big
They were
giant
big
bubbles, that
and they were
sucked.
like hitting us in the mouth,
it.
and my glasses were all covered with soap by the end.
It was uncool.
It was funny because it was like the bubble wand was off the side of the car that Sean was on, and then there was an adult with a little kid in each of the seats, so they went over all the little kids' faces and hit us. It was weird.
One of the problems that I have, and this I have the same problem at Disneyland because Disney sells a lot of bubble blowers.
Hate those things.
Is that the kids who are supposedly enjoying the bubbles, they don't blow the bubbles where they can see them. They stick
it's
them
just
up over
behind
their
them.
heads so that they all blow out behind them.
Yeah, trailing.
And it's like, it's like a balloon. You have to have the
Yeah.
balloon in front of you to see that you've got the balloon, kind of a deal. And I don't understand these kids at the park. They're like, they'll just hold it over their shoulder and blow the bubbles. And I'm like, you can't even see what you're doing. How are you getting enjoyment out of that?
Yeah.
Now you're just being a pill.
Rotten little kids.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you guys experienced Christmas there. The Knott's Christmas was still up, but last year, I mean, whatever. Was. I think we got. It was a later date than this year's, so it was after the Christmas stuff was taken down. So it was a weird, different experience. Kind of weird to have all the Christmas stuff still up and everything this time.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much. Sean didn't go to Disneyland this week.
I did not. It was raining like crazy,
A
so
little soggy out. Yeah.
yeah. And I regretted. I didn't feel very well on Monday, and so Tuesday like Monday night we canceled my reservation, and then Tuesday I guess I felt okay enough to go, and it was the anniversary of the opening of Star Tours, and so I kind of wanted to go, because of that. But I ended up sitting it out, so no Disney visit for me, and
Yeah. The rainy days were all soggy shoes and everything for me on at least what was the last one? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Whatever the last
it was
day
raining
was.
on Wednesday, I think,
Or
too.
something, yeah. And it was like, because I had to bring in an order of boxes at work. So
Yeah,
I had
you
to
said
order
you
a bunch
were
of boxes.
unloading pallets in the rain.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So it was just soaked when I came in from the back. And
Well, I'll tell you though,
yeah.
I'm really glad that the rain is kind of like stopped for now, because
tomorrow.
Hasbro is delivering something like 20,000 Ghostbuster packs in boxes right now,
No.
and so
no.
Greg and Lisa got their packs.
Yeah.
Dustin, neighbor Dustin next door, got his pack today.
Cool.
I expect mine in the next couple of days, and so
hopefully you get it like tomorrow, because I think it's supposed to rain Saturday.
yeah, I feel strongly that I'll get it tomorrow. Just sort of the vibe that I get. I'm being optimistic. I'm very excited about getting it, but I would like it to come not in the rain. And I guess they're coming by FedEx, which is good, because the last package that UPS tried to deliver to us vanished. We never got it, which is a bummer.
Jeez.
Now I'm having to jump through hoops trying to find
That sucks.
that. Yeah, and I would hate for that to happen with something like this pack. I would be heartbroken, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rain was pretty brutal. Not as bad here in Southern California as it was in Northern California, where they were evacuating people. But I
That's my sister.
I think I mentioned this on the morning show that I was very amused that in the same sentence or two where they're talking about having to evacuate near Santa Barbara, very, very rich homes. And they're like, do not stop and take selfies with the raging waters.
Please do not die.
Right. It's like, how Darwin Award is that? It's like,
Yeah.
they may look interesting and you may want to post them to social media, but you could die.
Yeah.
So
Just come down here and go to Raging Waters instead.
right.
Don Coulter says he met Kristen Shaw on the little train.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fun.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
I think she would be a fun person to meet.
Totally.
Yeah.
She'd be actually really,
Yeah,
really,
David.
really great. Or conversely, amazingly annoying. It depends what kind of mood you're in.
Right.
Yep, this is true.
That's really fun.
Oh, Alan's watching us. Cool.
Woo. So, yeah, Alan and I have been conspiring. We're talking about the next Star Wars event at the new library. Colleen and I went to the book club for Rancho Cucamonga Public Library, which is online now. They do it by Zoom. And they didn't have anybody in person because of the rain. People stayed
Well,
home.
there was one person in person, the librarian.
The librarian who ran it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't have any guests because of the
Right.
rain. She had to be there because it was her job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was a free-for-all thing. So we just talked about whatever books we were reading. And I
there you go.
completely cheated and talked about picture books.
Picture books are still books.
They are. And they're fun. So it was pretty fun. And then in the interest of like total dorkiness, I have 3 monitors here. I have the middle monitor, which is showing me what is going out over the air. I have Jeff on the left monitor that plays into the same screen so that you can see him. And then the right monitor, I've got the chat here. And I'm kind of OCD in that like they all have to match in height. Even though they no longer match as identical monitors anymore, which really makes me sad because I had 3 perfectly matching model monitors. And so I got a replacement for the one that died, put it in the middle, but it was like a ½ inch too short. And so it would like take a dip down and it wouldn't line up and the mouse would do weird. It was like driving me nuts. So I broke out a box of Legos and I built a stand for the monitor. So that it now raises up the proper ½ inch and they all match.
Okay, then.
And I think this is a perfectly acceptable real world use for Legos. Just saying. But it took so much longer than it should have. Again, because of sort of OCD stuff, I had to use like all the same parts and they're all gray and black and they match. And it's very, very artistic. But that was like my big weird project for the week. Was making my monitor stand.
I think my big weird project was to fortify the couch by sitting on it.
You held it down.
I held it down.
Yeah. You never know when gravity's going to reverse itself.
Right.
You don't want your couch floating around the room. It'd end up in the turtle tank, and that would be bad.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
geez.
Are we ready to talk about Star Wars?
Sure. I am not going to play the Star Wars music because I have to find some other music to play.
Because we're getting in trouble for playing Star Wars music.
We're not like really in trouble per se. It's just that I'm tired of getting the alerts going, somebody has lodged a claim against this piece of music that you're using. And it's like, really, it's a
Right.
piece of music that's like 45 years old and it's disco. Seriously, you're going to get mad. And it's not even like in America. It's like in South Africa or somewhere strange. So I got to find some different music. So I'm not going to play the Star Wars music.
Gotcha. Do boo 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 boo.
Yeah, whatever. I got to. I'm just annoyed.
Oh my goodness.
Color me annoyed.
Oh boy. Okay, so I guess we're going to that.
No, Kit
Star
says she's not
Wars.
ready.
Huh?
Kit says she's not ready
What? She's ready? Oh, geez,
She's
Louise.
not ready for Star
to
Wars.
post the links. I don't know.
Wars,
Oh.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Go
There
for
you
it,
go.
Jeff.
Is that ready now? We got it? Okay. January 12th, 1941. That's when Long Jean Baldry was born. And well, unless you watched the Droids cartoon, you probably don't know what he did.
Although
the voice of
he
the
was
Great Heap.
he was one of the more memorable characters in that, which was
The Great Heap.
the Great Heap.
Vix. He also did like stuff for the Ewoks cartoon, which it doesn't have a other sheet, but and loads of other voices that aren't Star Wars.
He was in The
tons.
Tick. He did The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. He was Dr. Robotnik. It's like 65 episodes of that he did.
And he's a musician as well, so
right.
Blues and rock.
And he was man number 2 in MacGyver. Don't forget that one.
Yeah. So it's a long list. Good golly.
And he was in Pocket Dragon Adventures.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Pocket Dragon Adventures was by Marv Wolfman, big, huge comic book guy, and our friend Craig Miller was a guest on our show. It was a story
awesome.
editor, and I don't remember somebody very famous created the Pocket Dragons. Do you remember who that was, Colleen?
Oh, no idea.
No, but I can tell you in a second. Who can type faster?
I know. I don't remember.
Just bringing up the here we go, Wikipedia. Pocket Dragons, created by
Oh boy.
Real Musgrave.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
And I bet Pat's over there going, Real Musgrave, Real Musgrave.
I know, right? You totally know.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, it was we had a Pocket Dragon magnet on our fridge for a while, but anyway,
that's cool.
it was he did 104 episodes of that, which is
Wow.
kind of crazy, right?
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, Craig Miller was involved in it, and he's an awesome
Nice.
dude. Okay,
Our second birthday history is January 10th, 1947. George Alec Effinger, and he actually wrote the Great God Quay, the Tale of Barada and the
Is
Weequays.
that pronounced Quay or Key?
I think it's like Weequay, like okay.
Oh, okay. Because
they were sort of named after the character in Moby Dick.
Ah, okay.
So the Weequays, so the Great
Queequay,
God,
yeah.
the Great
Got
God Quay.
it.
Yeah, but if we were in, if we were talking geographically, it would be Key.
Yeah, and the Tale of Barada and the Weequays, so Barada, Klaatu, Barada, Diktu.
Right.
And he was a American sci-fi author, so he wrote that for Star Wars, but he also tons of other stuff like what entropy means to be 839 slot or 30 to 9 slot and such. So, yeah.
Yeah, gosh, he partnered up with a whole bunch of cool people too. Mike Resnick, and he wrote the Zork Chronicles, which were the novelizations based on the game.
Nice.
Neat.
I don't think I ever played that, to be honest. I saw it forever, never played it.
I am old enough to have played Zork and be eaten by a
boy.
Gru.
Oh, jeez. But I'm gonna throw these in here because I think they're getting thrown in here. So I throw those in there. Boop. Okay, and then next is the actual other part of the history. We have January 8th, 1976. That's when John Mallow completed the final concept for Obi-Wan Kenobi's costume.
Nice.
Mono style robe, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know.
Right. The
Yeah, seen the movie? Come on.
the costume we know and love.
Yes.
And just in case, I didn't hear what Jeff had said at the end there, but it's a white kimono style Jedi robe and dark brown outer cloak.
Right.
Yeah.
He said it so quickly. I was like, wow. What was that?
Trying to get that speed in that eludes me for the rest of the year.
Right.
That's right.
January 9th, 1987, Star Tours opened at Disneyland, which kind of got talked about in a sense. Not really, by Sean. Because he wanted to go there and see it. go do
Yeah,
that this week.
I did want to be there. Although it wasn't really a milestone birthday. It's been around for 36 years. It's not like a super big deal.
Yeah. So, then we have January 12th, 1998, and that's when Star Wars Galaxy of Fear, The Swarm was published.
Galaxy of Fear was such a weird project. It's like, let's do Goosebumps Star Wars style.
Yeah.
It was really, really bizarre.
What's sad is I don't even know most of these things that you guys are talking about.
Well, the author was John Whitman. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Swarm.
Galaxy of
yeah.
Fear.
Zach, God, stupid thing. Zach Arata interferes with the engines on Uncle Hool's ship, and they land on Skur. After landing on Skur, the ship's engines shut down, and they are forced to stay on the planet. To be continued. That's the plot.
What's that thing on your face? It's a Skur. I got it from a creature.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's Skur, but it's SKRRR. So it's like, it's a pirate with a stutter or something.
Oh my God. I hate when the novelists run out of vowels.
Yeah.
And they just got to throw all the consonants
it's because Hawaii
together.
took them all, so,
Right.
when Hawaii used them all up and, you're stuck with these consonants.
All right. Moving right along.
Dig-a-ding,
Nicolas
dig-a-ding.
Cage said in an interview, he was asked if he would go and be on The Mandalorian if he was asked to. And he said, "I'm not really down. I'm a Trekkie, man. I'm on the Star Trek Enterprise. That's where I roll."
Well, and the reason that came about is
Sorry,
because Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal did a movie together.
Yeah.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah.
And
Which is apparently a really good movie, but bad box office.
Right.
Oh, dear.
And apparently Pedro Pascal said, "Hey, you should come play on The Mandalorian with me."
Yeah.
And he got turned down by Nick Cage. It's like,
What the heck?
I know, right?
There's a linked article to this that says Pedro Pascal is just as much of a Nicolas Cage fanboy as you are. I genuinely love so many of his performances. I'll have to
Nick,
check out that Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
It reminds me very much of one section, and I haven't seen the movie, but just like the trailers, remind me very much of one section of Romancing the Stone, where she ends up at the drug lord's compound. It's like, Joan Wilder? Joan Wilder?
Right.
It's like they based an entire movie around that scene. And it's like,
Called Bromancing the Stone.
Nicolas Cage?
You know what? If they had named it Bromancing the Stone, I bet it would have
done
a
better
lot
box
better at the
office,
box
right?
office.
That would have been awesome.
Right, it's all in the name.
Right.
Wow.
Moving on to theme parks.
Woohoo.
Super Nintendo World's pre-sale crashes Universal Studios reservation system.
They got it up pretty quickly, but yeah, they weren't expecting. They went the Disney route, and they weren't ready.
The official
fine.
opening is February 17th at Universal in California.
It
or
looks
adjacent to Universal in California.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool from the pictures. And I mean, if you're a Nintendo fan, it's pretty great. The things that they put into the parks sometimes make me scratch my head. Like in Florida, there's Dr. Seuss Land, which is kind of crazy.
That was a fun acid trip.
Annual pass holders get to visit from January 29th to February 11th, but the general public can't see the new section until February 17th.
Right.
So that's a benefit of getting an annual pass, which both Knott's and Universal in California, I don't know about Florida, the price for their annual passes
Super
are so
reasonable.
low that if you're going to buy a one-day pass and there's any chance that you're going to go 3 days during the year, even just like for lunch or something,
Yeah.
you would,
That's a long drive.
because it's basically the price of of 2 one-day tickets.
Well, and that's what I was thinking, is that if we ended up doing that Roaring Twenties Day and a Western Day, then we just need annual passes.
Yeah, but if the Western
us?
Day is an annual
Yeah.
event, we've already missed it.
Right.
Well,
right.
yeah.
One of the things that I don't see here in our list, and if I just missed it, I apologize, but one of the things that was very interesting, I know some people who work at Universal on my Facebook page, and Universal had, I guess last Sunday, their final special effects stage show.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Ever. And their final animal actors show
right.
ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're getting away from movie making.
Yeah, basically, I mean, they're keeping some of the backlot, they're keeping the tram, but their shows that showed you how movies were made are getting dissolved. That was it. They're
Oh,
done.
good grief.
So I don't know what they're going to do with those stages, if they're going to keep them, if they're going to do something else, or if they're going to level them and put a roller coaster in. Which
I wonder what the
think
proximity is.
I think is what's going to happen.
Is there a proximity to Harry Potter Land, I wonder?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, those closed on January 8th. There were announcements in
Oh, they're already closed.
theme park
Yeah, that's what I said last weekend.
theme park newsletters and things last November, saying that those were going to close on January 8th
Oh, wow.
And
to make way for future attraction.
and you know who's real excited about that? PETA.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. They're like, ha ha, we win. I'm like, no, you didn't win. They just want the place to put more roller coaster or
Listener
something.
Eric, who's always got his nose to the news of theme parks.
I think it's ear.
Says-
He's got his ear to the ground.
Sorry, that makes more sense.
Right. Pick a
says-
different anatomical part.
Sorry. Well, it could have been worse. So
Yes, it could.
says that it's going to be a roller coaster. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
Ear.
Roller coaster. Oh, love.
Disney cast members are getting name tags for the 100th anniversary of Disney. Not Disneyland, but Disney.
Yeah.
They're shiny and have a 100 and lots of stars on them. Everyone gets them except the people in Galaxy's Edge.
I'm pretty sure that the Galaxy's Edge people can go in and ask for one if they want it. They just can't
Right,
wear it.
they're not allowed to
in
wear it.
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
They have so much stuff. My again with the Facebook feed, people posting all sorts of pictures of cast member swag, very nice shiny satin jackets that are all bedazzled and beautiful
Well,
embroidery.
at least they didn't make the badges into that drippy silver.
Right. The ones that looked unfortunately sexual.
Yeah. I believe you can still get the ears like that. That's the bizarre part. If you go to Disney.com, you can get them. Like, oh god.
But the problem was only with the picture on their page, because it didn't come across as chrome. It came across as white, and that was weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so if
yeah.
you've seen them in person, as I have, and in the theme park,
Yeah.
they're chrome and they look fine.
Yeah.
They're just badly represented on the
Yes.
webpage.
Kit
And
says that they're getting them this week, and the article says that they will start wearing them on January 27th.
neat.
Ooh boy.
Sad news about local California restaurant chain La Brea Bakery, which they have one at downtown Disney. They closed all of their stores. And it's super sad because they didn't tell any of their employees until
Okay.
like the day it closed.
That's
Wow.
really
That's
rude.
not
Yeah.
Cool.
Temporarily, they're going to put Earl of Sandwich in La Brea's spot,
Okay.
which is great news. So on the bad news, good news. And then something that we don't have on our notes here is that the ultimate replacement for La Brea Bakery, not in location, because apparently it's going to be at the other end of downtown Disney, as far as we know, is Porto's.
Oh, wow.
The Cuban bakery chain that is super popular. And
Yeah.
we believe that they're putting it on the other end of downtown Disney. And if they are, it's a good thing because the lines at Porto's rival the lines at Rise of the Resistance.
Right. And those lines would feed directly into the tram stop, because
If they
when you
directly replace La Brea
yeah,
Bakery,
because if you walk out of the tram when it drops you off, you walk right into La Brea Bakery.
Yeah.
It is kind of a bummer. Now the company is still going to do wholesale sales, and so if you like La Brea baked goods and you find them in the supermarket, you can still get those. They're not going to
And they're
stop
going to be
doing
selling
that.
to restaurants.
Right.
So-
They're just not going to have their own storefronts anymore.
Okay.
That we've been used to. And I'm looking at a map here in LA, and it looks like there were 3 of those.
One of them was on La Brea.
Yes, one was on La Brea. There was one on Washington Boulevard.
There was?
Yeah, apparently so.
Maybe that's why they closed. Nobody knew it was there.
Right, in West Adams. So Washington and Fairfax, basically. Anyway, they've been such a staple, and I think they were one of the premier shops at Downtown Disney. Downtown Disney opened on this day in like 2001, I think. And so La Brea Bakery making that announcement, like they were a flagship store that was there from day one. That's kind of a bummer.
Big Disneyland ticketing news. Excuse me.
Ouch.
On February 4th, park hoppers will move from 1 p.m. to 11 a.m. So basically, wherever you start your day, you can't go to the other park until currently it's 1 p.m. It's moving to 11 a.m. Sean is very happy about this.
Because my workday ends at 11 for the radio show. By the time I get to Disney, if I got to Disney, I delay going to Disneyland on days that I don't get to go right into Disneyland, so that I get there after 1 o'clock and I don't have to worry about it.
I forgot what I was going to say. Wow. The Photo Pass is also going to be for everyone. And there are going to be 2 months worth of $104 single park tickets coming soon. That's their lowest price. Is
So
$104.
Nice.
PhotoPass is going to be available to any ticket holder, period?
I believe that's what the article said. I read it kind of a while ago. So hang on a second. Let me just.
Yeah, I'm firing it up too. That's interesting.
Complimentary Disney Photo Pass digital attraction photos for you to take home as a souvenir.
Wow.
As a thank you to our incredible Disneyland Resort guests, we're excited to make Disney PhotoPass digital photo downloads captured on any Disney PhotoPass available attraction during a park visit complimentary for all ticketed park guests on the Disneyland app starting February 4th throughout the Disney 100 celebration at the Disneyland Resort. So it sounds like for the rest of the year,
Right.
you can get the free photo pass, and after that, they'll have people pay for it again.
Because that was a big selling point with Magic Key, when they basically made that free this round of Magic Keys, that you can get free photo pass with
Right.
it. The last one I had, even though it was like the top of the line, I wasn't able to do that, and now I am, and now everybody gets to do that, which means the lines are going to go insane.
Yeah. Speaking of Magic Keys, they also announced that they're going to drop more Magic Keys, but they didn't say when. They just said Magic Key passes will be available for new sales from time to time throughout 2023 as pass inventory becomes available.
They're going to drop them in the river. You got to
Gotcha.
go fishing for them.
Yeah.
And also, they've got their Southern California resident ticket, which is a 3-day weekday ticket valid through May 25th. But I don't know what the price is on that.
So you have 4 months to use 3 days.
Yeah.
That's pretty decent.
Weekdays only, $73 a day. So that's a $30
Yeah.
savings per day.
Right. That's pretty good. So
But all of the adults who purchase these tickets, not just the purchaser, but the person who uses it, need to show proof of Southern California residency at the park entrance. So you can't buy the out of town ticket for your relatives that are coming to visit.
Oh, because they'll double check your ID.
They're going to check ID. So I think that's
Geo-locked. Interesting.
I think we wrung everything out of this article that it had to offer.
A pretty fair amount.
Yeah.
I don't feel disappointed that they're doing the photo pass for everybody. It's kind of a nice thing to do. And although I do feel like they're really sort of pushing their 100th anniversary celebration hard, because it's not.
Yeah.
None of the theme parks have been around for 100 years. It's the
Yeah.
company that's been around for 100 years.
This is true.
Colleen and I watched, and I know you had already seen it, Jeff, but Colleen and I watched Strange World, which
Yes.
seems to be the first film.
Sort of watched it.
It seems to be the first
Yeah.
film to feature the Disney 100 company logo at the beginning of the
Yeah.
film, which was kind of interesting. Although Colleen's observation was not that, oh, it's pretty and they did some neat stuff and that's kind of cool. Her observation was, hey, the Matterhorn looks like the Paramount Mountain.
I didn't even realize that it was like a special
Right.
logo or anything. And the reason why I said Sean and I kind of watched it is that we
Yeah.
both fell asleep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed most of the movie.
Yeah, I fell
And
asleep less
Sean-
than she did,
Yeah.
but it was pretty good what I saw.
I enjoyed what I
entertaining.
saw. I
There
just
was-
couldn't stay awake.
There's some stuff that Sparrow wasn't too thrilled with in it, but otherwise it was okay.
She wasn't thrilled with
In
it
what
in
way?
terms of story
So-
and character, or from a social aspect.
Probably story and character. What I mean is that there's a character in there. Well, two characters in a sense, but there's a character, the son of the main character. The main character, I guess, is
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, and his son.
Yes.
His son, and you know, spoiler, his son's gay. And the boy and the boy that he likes, also gay, of course. But the part that Sparrow didn't like is like, well, here's this guy that he likes. Okay, we don't see him for the rest of the movie. Oh, here he is at the end.
Yeah.
It was just irritating. It's like I was like, well, it sounds a lot like what Disney Pixar was doing with a lot of like, here's this character, but
Well,
he's not Latino for most of the movie, or he's not black for most of the movie, or
to be fair about that, having
Well-
recently watched this movie,
Yeah.
even when the character's not on screen, he's still
Yeah.
talked about during the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And
He just
also-
doesn't go on the adventure with them.
Also, the son is gay, and he's on the entire adventure. He
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
stop being
No, that's
gay
not-
just because
yeah.
his boyfriend
No, I
goes
mean-
away.
They
No,
just
but
didn't focus on the relationship. That wasn't the focus of the movie.
Yeah.
No, Sparrow was just upset about
Yeah.
like, there they are and gone. I'm like,
Yeah, but they
And they-
resolved the relationship, and there was
oh, yeah,
if it's not anime.
yeah. So, but for me, I enjoyed like Dennis Quaid's part in it. I thought he was hysterical.
You mean Dennis Quaid as Kurt Russell?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, for looks wise, geez, yeah, totally. But he was hysterical, and then like, and the whole twist at the end and stuff, that was pretty neat, So, I think it fits in well with what they've been doing with like, Frozen and Tangled and all that kind of stuff of having some sort of a fantasy, locations.
Yeah, I mean it had a little bit to do also with it had the same kind of vibe that Onward had, which took place in a very fantasy environment. That was the one about the kids who lost their dad.
The elf.
Right, and they were like
The
elf
elves,
kids and
the
stuff.
elves, yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything in the movie, but they did a pretty interesting way of setting up their universe. It was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now, if you are a huge sci-fi fan, you may see it coming, as I did.
Yeah.
But even though you knew it was coming, it was still pretty cool. And I liked how weird it was.
Yeah, totally.
It's definitely very strange. It definitely has a 1950s, like 30s to 50s pulpy sci-fi kind of vibe, and especially in the case of Dennis Quaid's, grandpa adventurer character. Yeah. And he's like, Captain Morgan, gun across the shoulder, rah, kind of guy. It was really interesting. And then to contrast it with the characters down the road, like 25 years later, who, are now dealing with gay relationships in a more pacifist environment and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was neat. It was really kind of cool.
I do like how that was. I do like how that was handled.
Yeah.
Though. So what they, in regards to like the old grandpa and like the son and stuff, the grandson. So
yeah, there's a few things that made me scratch my head that I cannot mention without spoiling stuff. So we'll talk about it offline.
Okay, big news for Disney World. Actually, there's one more item from California, and that's that the French Market restaurant is closing down to be reimagined into Tiana's Place or Palace?
Tiana's Place. Palace? I guess it's Palace.
Is it Palace? Because I guess she's a princess.
Palace.
Yeah, it says Palace. And it looks like a steamboat on the front of it.
Yeah.
But that's, in case you're not able to place the French restaurant, or the French Market, it's the big restaurant that's between Pirates and Haunted Mansion that has buffet
It's the
service.
buffet style one, yeah. It's where you get mint juleps. The mint julep bar is attached to it. It is not the Cafe Orleans, which is a sit-down service restaurant.
So basically, they're just retheming it. They might even continue with the same menu. Probably
Could
add
be.
things that are specific, like, change the name of something and then serve the same food.
Well, and there's certain things they won't be able to get rid of, I'm sure.
Although it says the mint julep bar will also reopen, still serving mint juleps and Mickey beignets.
Woo-hoo!
Right. Well, and honestly, since the film takes place in New Orleans, it is a super no-brainer for them to do this.
Yeah, totally.
And it won't be character dining, so you won't go to this restaurant and meet Tiana.
That makes me wonder then what it is that they're doing in those other stores, those other store locations that say coming soon, whatever, and it's all Princess of the Frog based, whatever. So it's, like it's, that the walkway that's say between
the little shopping
and
arcade. There's a perfumery. There's a crystal arts place. And right now there's a place that sells both dresses and kitchen stuff, which is weird. And I thought that was already rethemed as Princess and the Frog, because
they're calling it the Eudora's Chic Boutique, featuring Tiana's Gourmet Secrets.
Right.
Okay, so they did retheme that area.
And then they have,
and it's been that way for a while.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure will open in Critter Country,
and that's going to be the Splash Mountain retheme.
Yeah. So I don't remember seeing it. Maybe was it there during a Life Day, or was it after Life Day?
Yeah, it was there during Life. It's been that way for quite a long time.
Haven't seen it. Wow. Okay.
And I imagine, even though that they're retheming the Splash Mountain, I think that they're probably going to leave, because of the Winnie the Pooh ride, the shops at the far end of Critter Country on that north end alone. So there's like a candy shop, and I think they'll just leave all of that. And basically, New Orleans Square is largely going to be given over to Tiana, but they'll leave that corner of it alone.
That shop will still be the Winnie the Pooh shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Which has very good chocolate makers in it.
So what I'm looking at, this picture here, and I guess I should not be a jerk, and I should show you guys. While I do that, though, let me remind you that you're listening to Docking Bay 94. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
It's just so Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
You could be listening to us on sci-fi.radio. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi, and that's the URL, just sci-fi.radio. You could be watching us on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, any of those things, for which we're always grateful when you do like and subscribe or do whatever. I don't know. So I'm going to show you this picture here, which is the sort of reimagining of this. And so we're looking south at the restaurant. To the right, under the awning, is the mint julep bar.
Yeah.
And there are steam stacks on top of the restaurant. So the seating area is where the seating area is right now. And they're going to basically retheme it in the section that sort of faces the Haunted Mansion, which is kind of interesting. So from the front side, where if you were facing, like, say, Pirates of the Caribbean, it's not going to be that noticeable. Unless they do something big to that side of the building. And honestly, it doesn't look like they're going to do it. It looks like the seating area where you sit is going to get the retheming for Tiana's Palace. And that's how you'll know.
It looks like retheming with a pretty light touch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
yeah.
I mean,
Well, how far do they have to go with it already being New Orleans?
Yeah.
yeah, the hanging, I don't know what you call those, but
The baffles, the
wires.
awnings?
yeah, those that are hanging, that hang out all the way over you while you're eating.
Yeah.
Those are already there, just different colors.
Right, exactly. They're really not doing too much. Maybe change some of the stained glass on the second floor. The second floor is not a thing that you usually deal with at that restaurant. It's not like you can go up there or anything. And then it looks like they're putting the wheelhouse and the smokestacks up in the top, which are kind of interesting too. So
And they're painting
I mean,
it
it's kinda what it
peach
looked
and
like.
adding green awnings.
yeah. So, it's the restaurants in that area have had facelifts for as long as they've been around, and they used to do that too. If you remember, the Aunt Jemima restaurant became a couple other restaurants before they finally got rid of it.
Eric mentions that he hopes the menu is a bit better because the post-COVID-19 menu is only so-so, and I have to agree with that. I think that the choices for food in the park since coming back from COVID have been pretty limited, and I feel like that's one of the restaurants that has been subpar.
And I gotta wonder about that. Is it a thing because they basically had to shut everything down, give all their stock away? They donated so much food and things to various charities and things so it wouldn't go bad. And basically, they just had to start up from scratch.
Well, and I think they limited their menu selections
So
down a
that
lot.
they could do that.
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
my guess. And I feel that giving this an opportunity, this is the perfect opportunity to reintroduce a bunch of cool stuff, or to create
And
some new stuff.
I feel like some of the restaurants are starting to open it up a bit and improve their menus a little bit. So yay.
I think go ahead, Jeff.
I found a picture and I put it in our
messenger,
individual our Facebook chat that we have.
Yeah.
And it's basically what it looked like from the cartoon.
Okay.
And you can see a comparison between
it's pretty similar. Let me go fire that up. I think that what they've been doing, Colleen, instead of making their bringing back their full menus for everything, they seem to be focusing a lot more on seasonal offerings.
Yeah.
And we've had ridiculous quantities of seasonal offerings, even though the main menu for the restaurant is still pretty sparse.
Right.
Here we go. This is a picture that Jeff sent over, and this is the restaurant she opened at the end of the film. And I can definitely see.
I found the old, So and I found other places too, pictures that are like before they changed it and stuff. So
yeah. You can definitely see that they're not really changing that much of the restaurant as it is in Disneyland. They're just adding the touches that will make it recognizable. Like this picture here doesn't have the same kind of nice stained glass and things that were in the other picture and that kind of thing. And but you can see the wheelhouse up on top. You can see the smokestacks there. I think it'll be sufficient. And honestly,
it'll be pretty cool.
It's not going against the theming of the area.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So I think
fits right in.
That'll be fine.
Let us move on to Disney World. Annual pass holders at Disney World will soon not need to have reservations on certain days.
It looks like weekdays they're going to cut them some slack.
It's interesting. It says in the article, which is not Disney, the article is from Walt Disney World News Today, which is an independent reporting place. Walt Disney World annual pass holders will soon be able to visit the parks after 2 p.m. on weekday afternoons without a reservation. So not Saturdays or Sundays.
Does not include the Magic Kingdom specifically, where you still need a reservation.
It says here that's Magic Kingdom is Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
You still need a reservation, but yeah, we'll see when this comes to pass. It just says beginning in the next few months, so it's all very loosey-goosey.
It does not change the blockout dates at all, but they're cutting them a lot more slack than they're cutting us here in California.
I think that's because they have more room.
Well, and it's not just more room. It reinforces the difference that we point out frequently, which is California is about locals and Florida is about tourists. This is specifically something that aids the locals in Florida to get them to come out there more frequently. They're trying to make it as easy as possible because they have fewer annual pass holders there, more space to do it in, and it'll be really interesting to see how it all shakes out.
It was interesting. Someone was talking about if you were to retire if you wanted to retire and be able to go to Disney parks every day, and someone was saying they would want to retire to California, and exclusive of politics, which I won't get into right now, if you could lift the land out of the state they were in and just, politics free, I think I would choose Disney World over Disneyland, even though Disneyland is my, I've been going there my whole life. There's just so much more at Disney World.
Yeah.
I would do that. Yeah, I would do that. I wouldn't want to live in Florida, but I would want to live...
remember, we're lifting it out, so you don't have to consider the weather or anything else, but strictly based on parks.
But I mean, just having been, around Disneyland all my life, I would choose another park. I would do Paris. I would do something else.
You mean just because you're too used to Disneyland? Yeah,
as much as I love it, there's nothing that beats the adventure of a place you haven't been all that much.
I think that even if I were new to the parks, if I hadn't been a lot before, I think that I would choose Disney World simply based on the fact that they've got 4 parks.
Right.
Yeah.
They have 2 water parks or 3 water parks?
They had 2 water parks. I think they've limited it down to 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They've got a water park, which the Disneyland doesn't have. And their version of Downtown Disney Springs, is so much larger. And there are so many more dining opportunities in their parks than in our parks.
Yeah.
More hotels.
They have a lot more options open than we've got here.
Oh, temporarily.
Yeah. So it would be pretty fun. But, they'd have to break it out of the state. It was
definitely Disney World. Yeah.
Also in Disney World, there was an ad for the Tron Light Cycle Run. Are you going to run that ad, Sean?
This was pretty cool. Let me see if I can fire it up here. Whatever link we have here, it says this doesn't exist.
Oh, well.
Oh, what the heck?
That's awesome.
Let me try something else here and see what we got. This is somebody's video that I don't want.
Oh, if you go to the third link here, the second line, actual announcement, right there in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that.
Well, here's one that.
Okay.
The one that I'm looking for. If I can make it come over here to the other thing. Disney's been doing their announcements on Twitter, and I gotta say, so I woke up to Jeff having sent me links to Twitter right before my show, which really kind of sucked because I really wanted to work on deciphering the puzzle that they had thrown up. But they didn't let their puzzle sit very long. They wimped out because usually Disney lets things sit for a couple days.
Yeah.
In this case, they had it up for just a couple hours, which was a bummer. Here we go. So here's the. You
got that one.
So that was their date announcement.
Is this 44 grid the puzzle that you were talking about?
No, it's a little bit of a puzzle because the date, of course, turned out to be April 4th, which was pretty obvious. But there was another one, which I'll see if I can find. Oh, here it is. Let me open this one up. This was the tricky one that they should have given us more time to figure out because a lot of us were. Yeah. It wasn't particularly difficult. It was just a fun kind of puzzle.
Yeah.
So here's the one here. This is the thing Jeff woke me up to, and I'm like, I know it's a puzzle. I have no time to work on it. So if you were a super old school game player, this is a credit screen from Tron. From the Tron arcade game, and you can look there, and there's a bunch of things. Number 6 is maybe the giveaway. It says DL for the initials, and then it says 07171955.
Yeah.
So it's like 7,171,955, which equates to the date that Disneyland opened. Yep. And so all of these things are different things. There's one, Jeff Bridges' birthday is up here. Yeah. There's one for Kevin Flynn for the original Tron movie opening. And then there was a mysterious one that didn't really make much sense, which was the one that like was supposed to be the giveaway one for the date.
Yeah.
So this would have been a lot of fun. To have been able to actually puzzle out, and they just sort of like let it sit for a little while.
So what is CM? Is that for cast member?
Cast member, and exactly. That was somebody's thinking that that was going to be the cast member preview.
What's number 9?
Number 9 says
6/16/2016.
It's SD.
In 2016? Is that like when the latest Tron came out?
No, that's Shanghai Disney. That's the opening of Shanghai Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
MK is Magic Kingdom.
Got it.
There's like a bunch of them that you got to kind of puzzle out.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a neat thing. I just think they should have sat on it longer. Disney has been famous for their alternate reality stuff. Which has been cool, and they gave in like only a couple hours after posting this. Not that people weren't figuring it out quickly. It wasn't.
But it would have been fun to have given time for everybody.
Yeah, I mean they put so much effort into doing it. Let it stew for a little while. Let us figure it out. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Jeff.
I couldn't find the one that was on was on one of the videos of somebody covering this, like announcing it on their YouTube channel. But there was apparently one they did that was like two light cycles on the grid, old school on the game coming down, and then it basically spelled out like 4.
Oh yeah, we
with
have
the
that one.
models.
It's in the document, and I remember seeing it. I thought you sent it to me. Maybe you didn't, but
I couldn't find it. I found the one that the fan did.
here's
cover.
this one, which is on the main Disney page. Hold on, let me pop over here.
Yeah, and that was really cool. But I couldn't. I'm glad somebody found it because I could not find the light cycle one. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, so it's this one here, and it says 4-4.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't know if it has a... Oh, yeah, it kind of warps out at the end.
Yeah. But pretty neat. Okay.
I would love for
Yeah,
them
that's
to
what it
bring
is.
this ride to California. I just can't figure out how to make it fit.
Right. Shoehorn.
California version. That's how they make it fit.
Right.
A what version?
A California version.
Their own
Oh.
version of making it.
Yeah, it would have to be slightly different shape probably, and they'd probably have to take out the Autopia and probably the subs.
Right.
But I don't know.
Well, I don't know about taking it out, but what they would have to do is put pylons or something across the subs, and they
Yeah.
just had them closed for a long time. So
Yeah.
they'd have to close them and drain them again, and I can't imagine that that's cost effective. So
Universal Studios plans to bring a new concept for families with young children to the small town of Frisco, Texas. I say it's a small town because I've never heard of it, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming it must be small. It is aimed at younger audiences, and
Yeah.
it's sized for a regional audience. So those in Frisco, Texas will get a good... it'll be for locals the way the Florida park is. There will also be a hotel.
Woohoo!
So, Jeff, you
Yeah,
want to
let me see
move
here.
on
sir.
to trailers with me?
Sure. Let's see here.
My favorite trailer was the season 2 announcement for Wednesday.
Yeah.
I just loved the heck out of that one. So everybody, go watch it. I don't want to give. It's super short.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away what it was that I loved about it.
Yeah.
So go watch it.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a date with that. They just said it got a season 2.
Yeah.
Coming to HBO Max is on January 12th, which is today,
Yeah.
the Velma series, which
Yes.
is about the Scooby Gang. However, there doesn't appear to be a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I'm wondering the way that this is designed. It seems like maybe it Scooby. They don't have Scooby yet, kind of thing. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah?
Because it's following Velma and a different version of Shaggy.
Yeah. And, I mean,
And
they're all
Freddy the-
kind of a little bit different.
Yeah.
And the animation in it is different, too.
Yeah. And I think high school. I think right.
Yeah,
Looks
they're
like
supposed to
high
be in high school, and they're just... It seems like Velma and Daphne have had a long-term relationship. Like, maybe they were friends when they were younger, and then they got to high school, and...
became bitter
Jeff,
enemies.
I can't hear you anymore.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, there you are.
Where-
It was
where did it
weird.
go?
Your mouth... I forgot about the delay is probably what happened.
Yeah. It's a couple seconds.
So, yeah, and Velma didn't know Fred at all, or Fred didn't know Velma,
Yeah.
and it did look like it was new.
The
Shaggy's
weirdest
hair
thing,
was weird.
Shaggy's black,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's going by his real name, which is Norbert,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah.
Norville Rogers.
I thought it was, Sean, you missed the
Norville,
part
I
where I
guess that
said
was
I
it.
thought it was odd that there's no Scooby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is kind
Yeah,
of strange, but
Yeah. Since it's high school, I'm wondering if they're getting Scooby later on or something,
I
Or-
figure they'll
or,
introduce him later.
Yeah.
or he's just not in the trailer. But
The other thing about
Maybe
this,
they're saving him to
But-
boost their ratings
yeah.
later on.
But Mindy sounds pretty good though. So
the Mindy Kaling is doing
Velma.
Velma. The interesting thing about this is that the mystery seems to involve actual murder. There is a body count.
Yeah.
That's something we haven't really seen in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's definitely a different thing. And Velma's introduction says it. She's like, this is my story told my way.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't think Velma is prone to embellishment.
Yeah.
Maybe Daphne was telling the previous story, or actually Shaggy. Maybe Shaggy was telling the previous story.
It's,
Well, that'd be interesting.
there's a part of the trailer where I guess Velma's talking to Shaggy, and Shaggy's like, I am totally against drugs.
Yeah, I saw that. Coming to NBC on January 17th is Night Court.
Yeah.
And this is the daughter of Harry Anderson, who was the judge in Night Court. She comes back and basically gets the attorney.
John Larroquette.
Thank you, John
Christine
Larroquette.
Fielding to come back.
She drags him out of retirement. It kind of implies that she had something over him, like he got arrested or something, and that's how he was having to pay it back, is that she made him be the
Don't know.
Be a
attorney.
public defender again.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it also seems to be like she's using this as a way to give him a redemption. Whether
both.
Whether she's actually, got something on him or not.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
I think
Yeah.
it'd be worth giving it a couple of episodes to see if it had any of the sort of chemistry that the first one did.
Yeah.
I don't really see it in the trailers,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that they won't find their footing.
Well, and
Get that chemistry.
how do you follow the original show? I mean, it was such a perfect
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
sitcom.
the original show. Yeah,
Right.
so much. But
And there's so many people in here I just do not recognize in the
Yeah.
cast list. Melissa Roche, I feel like I should
yeah.
recognize. What is she? Oh, Big Bang Theory. That's where she's from.
Yeah, okay.
She's also Harley Quinn in the animated Batman and Harley Quinn cartoon.
Oh, okay.
And she was in Ice Age Collision Course and a bunch of stuff. She's got a surprising number of credits under her belt. But of course, 209 episodes of The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And gosh, when was the last time we actually saw John Larroquette do anything?
I don't know. It's been a while.
Forever. It's been a long damn time.
I mean, he seems to
Since
have
I
a
have.
bunch of credits, but nothing that I've seen. He was in the new Twilight Zone that they
oh, yeah,
they
the
did.
new one that came out. But, yeah.
Yeah, the revived Murphy Brown. He showed up in an episode. But, his credits are few and far between for the past few years.
Gotcha.
So it's good to see him back.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everything that he's done has been really fun. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, big shoes to fill.
Coming to Shudder. I don't even know where Shudder is.
It's all horror all the time.
Yeah, it's a horror
So
show.
along with AMC, that's all horror all the time too. Sorry About the Demon. It's a series starting January 19th, and it's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
And it looks like something that I would be able to watch. So if it were on Netflix, I would probably give it a whirl.
Yeah, exactly. Or you have to pay extra for have it on Prime or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay any extra for it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I would-
I have to say about this week's crop of trailers that they missed their season by like 3 months. Shouldn't these have all been back in October?
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of.
I mean, there's a
horror in
lot
here.
of horror and a lot of horror comedy. This particular one is about a guy and his ex-girlfriend who like gets possessed.
Yeah.
And the joke is his ex needs an exorcist,
Yes.
and it could be really funny or
Yeah.
it could not be.
It's a
Right.
toss up, really.
Yeah.
But I assume
like,
Shudder is a subscription.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's yeah. Much like Netflix and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming to Slam Dance Film Festival, which I've never even heard of this. Is this
Yeah,
just
me
a
neither.
film festival that it's going to be appearing at? Is
Yeah.
this a streaming
Yeah.
service?
No,
What is this?
Slam Dance basically posited itself as a, cool indie, punky kind of
So
thing.
if it's a film festival, this means that exactly 3 people are going to be able to see it, percentage-wise. It is coming out on January 22nd, Unicorn Boy.
Yeah.
I didn't like anything about this. I didn't like the
It's
animation
so
style. It
bizarre
looked
and
depressing.
artsy and
What did
yeah.
you say, Jeff?
It's bizarre, artsy, like an acid trip, and the sound is horrible.
I don't like this style of animation. It's like it's the not Art Center, the Cal Arts style of animation that's gotten really popular these days, the sort of Family Guy kind of thing. And then it's been dirtied and tweaked and weirded out. It's just, everything about this is designed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the whole trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
I was
out.
like, I know Patton Oswalt is in it as the unicorn, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we
Whatever.
like Patton Oswalt, but
He doesn't save it.
There's nothing about this that sold me on it.
No.
Yeah.
It just looks really, really...
It's really,
I think you'd have to pay
It
me
just
to
looks-
watch this one.
yeah, it's like an acid trip, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And this is for you, Colleen. Slam Dance it takes over the space of Sundance in Park City, Utah, and it's the Emerging Artists Film Festival, and so it's
Gotcha.
like things they take a chance on people nobody knows and projects nobody wanted to see.
Well, this was definitely one of those.
Yeah, but it's been going on since 1995.
Coming to Paramount Plus on January 26th is a series called Wolf Pack.
Yeah.
And if I recall the trailer correctly, it's about werewolves.
Yeah.
And it's the
Oh no, this was the one with the fire.
Yeah.
yes,
And werewolves.
and werewolves.
Right.
Yes.
So
And
this
it was,
I think I stopped
her
watching
name?
this one in the middle too. Not a fan.
it's the guy who created the Teen Wolf series.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind. And I'm pretty sure
Oh.
that I've seen this in like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Well,
episode.
Sarah,
So this guy
Sarah
only
Michelle
has-
Gellar is one of the producers of it. I
She's
think.
in it, and she's an executive producer as well.
Yeah, yeah.
She's
So
she's
this
like
guy
the
can only
investigative.
write about werewolves or direct or what did you say he was? The showrunner?
Yeah, the creator of the Teen Wolf series.
Yeah.
So it's
Maybe
about
he's really
a bunch of
werewolf.
kids. They get caught in this fire. They get dragged out of their school bus and basically get made werewolves,
on by
and they
werewolves.
become the Wolf
Yeah.
Pack. And
I think time to I'll wolf pass on it. So
it just doesn't. I mean, I guess if you're like
But then it's
CW fan, maybe you'll really like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
No. Coming to Netflix on January 27th is Lockwood and Company.
Oh,
This
this looks
looks
good.
like a young adult mystery series.
It's young Sherlock Holmes meets Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a cross between those two. The character dynamics of our main team are almost
Yeah.
exactly the same. Of course, it's in a modern setting. It seems to be a British show,
Yeah.
which kind of plays into that young Sherlock Holmes vibe.
Yeah.
It looks fun. It's on
Yeah,
Netflix.
I'll give it a try if it's on and I'm sitting
Especially
there
how the
with
ghosts look and everything. I've liked
Yeah.
how that is.
Yeah, and it seems like there's an escalation where it's like it's basically there is a state-run ghost-busting organization apparently that deals with supernatural stuff. Then there's a
Yeah.
bunch of individual teams that are trying to make a name for themselves. And so there's the, sort of high school bully kind of vibe that's going on with it. And it also seems like the team gets a little modicum of success and then finds themselves targets not only of the official kind of Ghostbusters, but the
Yeah.
ghosts themselves go, oh, these are the people we have to destroy. Let's get them. That
Yeah.
interests me. That
Yeah,
seems kind of cool.
Yeah.
Production value's high though. I mean, they're
Yeah, it
not
looks pretty
slacking.
decent. Yeah.
But I'm a lot of the, and I'm saying this as a 55-year-old guy. A lot of these things are aimed at audiences much younger than we are. This is totally a tween thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them this
yeah.
week. There's lots of like tween
Oh,
kind of
Colleen's descriptions.
right.
Sorry, I can't remember what they're about, so I've got to have a description to help me along. Coming to Netflix, there was a series teaser. It's coming on February 2nd. Free Ridge is the name of the series, and from what I can tell, it is a TV show about sisters who like to beat each other up, and they keep getting in trouble at school for it.
This isn't this
something like
the
that. It's
one
just
about the
bizarre.
group of people who get cursed? They
Yeah.
find a box, they open it,
Yes,
they have apparently been
right.
cursed,
Yeah.
and they have to disable the curse, but of course it makes their life hell in the meantime. I gotta say that some of the sister fighting, whatever the hell was going on in this,
Yeah.
was a little brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And they're trying to be funny.
They get called into the principal's office along with their dad, and the principal says, you know, you have to do something to make your daughter stop fighting, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you both. And so that was the store of humor that
And then he had to cover his, I beat them with stories of being good human beings, you know. But yeah, and some of the fights, like in the fight scene in the trailer, they're grabbing each other in pretty awful spots and hurting themselves in pretty terrible ways.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Twisters from Texas are involved.
yes, right.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Coming to Netflix on February 3rd, True Spirit, which is about the youngest person to sail around the world by themselves.
Solo, yeah.
And
Yeah.
And can I say that there was also seemed to be a high number of Australian pictures. At least 2 of them were Australian, maybe 3.
Well, and 2 of them
Okay.
contain the same guy.
Okay, so I wasn't imagining that.
No, which was really kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
The True Spirit, I don't know, I have no opinion on it.
Yeah.
Young girl sails around the world. Woo.
She apparently has dyslexia. She apparently it's like she's fulfilling her life's dream. Jessica Watson was the name of the girl who did it. They're obviously positioning this thing as like Barbie in a boat overcomes terrible, you know, the
Why
perfect
Barbie?
storm kind of thing. Huh?
Why Barbie?
Oh, her boat's all like pink and hearts
Oh, right.
and,
Okay.
and whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, which is fine. I don't know if I assume it was really like that. But, you know, they're sort of positing it going like, how can this girl do, you know, whatever she's going to do, blah, blah, blah.
And there's a lot of her looking at the stars and thinking about how beautiful the world is.
Right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got
It'd
a
all
bit
make it
of
better if we could all look at the stars.
it's got a bit of like Life of Pi, I'm on a boat alone, you know, kind
I'm
of
on a boat.
vibe.
That's a different vibe.
I'm sure it's pretty great, but of course it's coming out on Netflix. So if you have a Netflix subscription, it's no skin off your teeth
Right.
Yeah.
to do it.
Coming to theaters on February 10th, Seriously Red. This is about a woman who ends up working as a Dolly Parton lookalike, and how she is better than she thought she could be.
She apparently goes to work as Dolly Parton for some dress up day. And this is one of the
She just goes to her job as
right. And this
as Dolly Parton.
This is one of the movies that has that same guy in it that was in one of the other trailers. It's another Australian one.
And I believe that as a result of that, she loses her job.
Yeah.
Because maybe she goes a little bit too far. And then someone tells her, you're really good at this. You should be a professional. You know, come join this contest. We need a Dolly Parton lookalike.
Yeah.
Right.
Rose Byrne.
Yeah, Rose Byrne is in it. Bobby Cannavale is in it. And then everybody else is Australian. Crew Broylan, Daniel Webber, Celeste Barber, Thomas Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks fun. And it's got like a high camp level to it. It's like watching a drag show. It's got that kind of vibe too. There's like a female Elvis impersonator or something in it.
Yeah.
If you liked Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, you might like this. It's got that kind of vibe to me.
Yeah.
Coming to theaters February 17th, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Quantumania.
This is the first Ant-Man that I'm not looking forward to, based on this trailer.
It looks dark.
There's no Michael Pena in the cast, so right there takes a huge number of points off for me.
Yeah.
And if you watch the trailer, why are they bothering to call it Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Why aren't they just calling it Ant-Man Quantumania? Because the Wasp is hardly in it at all.
Well, you can't judge that by
From
the
the trailer.
trailer, but
Well, you can judge what they're trying to get you to see. I mean, what they want you to think about it.
I mean, you know, they could have just as easily called it Ant-Man and his kid.
Yeah.
You know, for what they're doing, but it does bring back the bad guy from Loki, right? Is that
Yep.
where we saw him last?
Yeah. King the Conqueror. Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. We saw MODOK in the trailer, which is another Marvel villain that we haven't really seen in the cinematic universe yet. But I'm not a huge fan of stories. I will like get up and walk out of the room if they piss me off enough. I'm not a huge fan of stories where somebody's forced to do something against their will, and this has that vibe to me. I'm like watching this, and it's like
basically a bad guy says, "I'm going to take your daughter away unless you be bad guys with me."
it's like a deal gone bad, and
Yeah.
it just
Or
looks
like,
really
and
unpleasant.
and also it's going back and dipping back into the whole time travel thing that
Yeah.
they had with Doctor Strange that ended so badly.
Well, and that's the villain's thing, and that's why he showed up in Loki, is because that's basically his thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember him. So, at any rate,
time
I'm sad
strands.
because Ant-Man was previously my favorite, and like based on this trailer, I don't even know if I'd go see it in the theater.
I am hoping that the trailer is just focusing on lots of adventure, and it's really just as good as the previous two movies.
No.
Hopefully,
yeah.
but
I think
no
I think
Michael
from the
Pena.
trailer it doesn't give you a good enough, look as to how much the Wasp is actually in this, because I think they're focusing on the trailer all on Scott and Kang,
And his daughter.
but it looks like that she is in this.
Yeah, she's in it.
Wasp
I mean,
is
I
in
saw
it
her.
Yeah.
and playing parts, but it just not giving you those parts of the movie in the trailer.
I feel like
Yeah.
they're gonna do the split where you basically got people in the quantum realm and you've got people in the real world, and they've
I
gotta
also
make them
feel
both.
like the
Hard to
MCU
tell.
has a ways to go in their treatment of women.
yeah.
And this adds to the not good treatment scale.
So,
I-
trailer.
So, although I did not see, Sean and I didn't see, what was the last Marvel movie that came out?
Black Panther.
Black Panther yet.
No,
Oh, wow.
we
And
did
Okay.
not.
there was
Damn.
Golden Globe on for Angela Bassett on that one, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Or
Yeah.
was that for something
Yeah.
else?
No, that's what it was.
Yeah.
She was best supporting actress, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's what she won.
maybe they did better in that one.
Yeah, Wakanda
Coming
Forever is darn
to,
good.
I'm sorry.
Wakanda Forever is really good.
That one I would like to see. We just didn't get to see it, and I don't even know if it's in theaters anymore because it came out like Thanksgiving, so
Yeah,
I doubt
it's coming out like next month, I think, on Disney Plus. If I'm wrong, no, I think.
Yeah, we'll get
Well,
around
we'll
to
get
it
to see it.
eventually. So
Coming to Paramount Plus on April 6th is Grease: Rise of the Pink Ladies, and I mean, Eve Arden isn't in this. And I know that she can't be in it because she's no longer alive and that this is a
Yeah,
prequel,
yeah.
but it still just makes me sad and miss Eve Arden, who was an
Aw.
amazing actress.
And I also feel like they didn't go back to Venice High School, which was Rydell High,
cool. Thanks, Eric.
right down the street from us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a bummer too. It's like whatever school looks like too big.
It looks more like High School the Musical than it does like Grease to me.
Right. And
Yeah.
and they're
Although, did you guys recognize the woman who is playing the Principal McGee?
Let's see it again.
no.
I don't know. Jeff, did you see Glass Onion?
I haven't seen Glass Onion yet. No.
Sean, she was, what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy? She was his mom.
Oh, Drax's mom?
Yeah.
That's funny.
From not Drax though, whatever
yeah,
his
yeah,
character
yeah.
name was.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Nice.
it's basically, they're pitching it as like, the first girl gang kind of deal. But we'll see. It's going to be an ongoing series.
I'd be interested to see whether the person that they've cast as what is her name? I've forgotten the character name from Grease. I keep wanting to say Rizzo, but that's a guy, right?
No, Rizzo.
Is it Rizzo?
Rizzo.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's not in this.
But isn't this a prequel?
Yeah, but she's not in it, I don't think.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be the
character
same
should be.
characters.
Yeah,
I'm
it
looking-
It should all be the same.
I'm
character,
looking at
should
a
be.
cast and crew list, and unless her name is Rosemary and not Rizzo,
Oh,
Oh.
maybe.
because everybody's got a normal name: Susan, Jane, Peg, Rosemary, Dot, Nancy, Buddy, Richie, Cynthia, Olivia.
Huh.
Nobody's like Rizzo.
Well, if they end up taking those are their given names and Rizzo is a nickname. If they end up if they are directly related, then I would be interested to see whether anybody else can bring the depth of character that she brought to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's not in this because Rizzo, which was her last name, and that's why she was called
Oh,
Rizzo.
okay.
Her first name is Betty, and there's no Betty. So
Oh, okay.
I think this is before,
So maybe this is an entirely different group.
it's like a couple of years at least before Grease happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they'll get there later.
Or maybe they're the begin. So it's just the beginning of the Pink Ladies, and
Yes.
others join up later, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There is
Awesome.
somebody called Potato.
Potato.
Yeah.
No,
so-
they're called potato.
Oh well. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah. Coming to theaters on April 21st, Beau is Afraid. And basically I watched this trailer and went, what?
What?
Yeah.
I think we
It's-
were
yeah.
supposed to.
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
It's
Definitely.
It's what's going on. It's basically. I think Frank can tell. It's everything's going on inside of his head as he's, and he's afraid. Basically, everything
Yeah,
he's imagining and seeing in his head.
I think it's someone with anxiety who
Yeah.
we basically get to see. It's
Yeah.
kind of like something that Terry Gilliam would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'd say so.
What we saw didn't take it as surreal as Terry Gilliam would.
yeah.
But the cast is interesting. So it's Joaquin Phoenix and Parker Posey.
yeah.
Patti LuPone is in it as Beau's mom, Joaquin Phoenix's mom. Nathan Lane is in it,
Yep.
and Richard Kind is in it. So
Yeah, it's got a pretty
yeah.
cool cast.
it's an
Yeah.
interesting cast.
Definitely.
Zoe Lister. Oh, you don't know Zoe Lister-Jones. Never mind. I do.
No, what has she been in?
She's been in Life in Pieces.
Oh, okay. But anyway, it's so the only description here for this movie,
Ooh.
which is nothing you get from the trailer, is
Yeah.
a decades-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time.
I don't know
Okay.
what the successful entrepreneur thing is supposed to be, but it does show that there are 4 different versions of him.
Yeah. He's
in
aging, so to
I
speak. Yeah.
I would like to put out there what my favorite character name is from this show. It's Birthday Boy Stab Man.
Stab Man?
Birthday Boy Stab Man.
Nice.
Yep.
This is A24. A24 is always weird. It was originally supposed to be called Disappointment Boulevard, and they changed
Okay.
it to Beau is Afraid. And
Yeah.
the theory is that this is a full-length version of a short that the writer and director originally did called Beau.
Gotcha.
And he's like fleshed it out. So you can go like on the internet and see the short film apparently, and it's
Yeah.
described by the director and the writer as a zonky nightmare comedy.
Yeah.
Zonky.
Yeah, zonky.
Wow.
So
Okay, we're almost through the trailers. There's a ton of them. This
God.
one made me cringe and giggle and
Yeah.
have some nostalgia. Coming to theaters on April 28th, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Which, gosh,
Judy Blume?
all the girls read.
And the boys knew about it if they didn't read it because it was ubiquitous in middle school.
Yeah, this is a Judy Blume perennial favorite.
And it goes back to the good part of the Ant-Man movies because it features Abby Ryder Fortson, who's Cassie in the first two Ant-Man movies.
first two
And
Ant-Man movies.
she's playing Margaret.
And Rachel McAdams is playing her mom. And
She doesn't look old enough.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's funny though because in the book her dad is featured heavily too, and I didn't see anybody who I recognized as being her dad in this. But it is definitely a period piece. In more ways than one.
Yeah. Wah, wah.
Ba-dum-bum.
Kathy Bates is in it.
Right. Kathy Bates
Yeah.
is the grandmother.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, but I would like to watch this, and I hope that it makes me happy to see it. There were definitely some cringe moments in the trailer, though.
There were cringe moments in the
geez.
book.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
book was a cringe. It was the whole thing is about what it's like being in the age of cringe.
Right.
So, in junior high, man, it's the worst.
This one it's not as good as Birthday Boy Stab Man, but there's some pretty kind of dorky credits in here like Steakhouse Hostess.
Definitely not as
Okay.
good as Birthday Party Stab Man. That's it for trailers.
Oh my God,
We
we
did it.
made it.
So Sean, you want to take the next?
Yeah, just one more
Somber.
thing on Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Judy Blume is producing. So is James L. Brooks.
Oh, interesting. See, this is going to be good.
So, and James L. Brooks, if you guys don't know, did Broadcast News, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, as good as it gets, terms of endearment. He developed The Simpsons.
Yep.
He knows funny. So it could be really good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Gosh, a bajillion people here. Nate Colbert passed away. He's the all-time home run leader of the Padres baseball organization. He died at 76. Robert Stewart passed away at the age of 87. Rod Stewart's brother passed away back in November. We're just hearing about it. Adam Rich passed away at the age of 54. You know him from 8 is Enough. He was the youngest Bradford family member, and maybe the kid on the whole who looked the most like the dad on the show, which was like really amazing casting. Anyway, he was a ubiquitous child actor, did a bajillion things, and passed away, we think, to suicide. Sadly, he'd had some mental illnesses. We lost Earl Bowen. He was an actor in the Terminator movies. Passed away at the age of 81. You know him from his receding hairline and very sad face. He was in 9 to 5. My Stepmother is an Alien, Battle Beyond the Stars, To Be or Not to Be, the one that Mel Brooks did, and things like that. And every television show known to man. And, you know, he did cartoon voices in Kim Possible as Senior, and people like that. So, sad to hear of his passing. Tatiana Patitz, who was a supermodel in the 1980s and 90s, passed away at the age of 56. She was in the George Michael Freedom music video and every magazine you've ever seen in a haircut place ever. She was a German model by way of Sweden. lived here in California and just passed away. Jeff Beck, kind of a big one, rock guitarist in the Yardbirds and, of course, the Jeff Beck Group and all sorts of things. He passed away at the age of 78. He got bacterial meningitis and passed suddenly. It's like very unexpected. Everybody coming out of the woodwork, Mick Jagger, Jimmy Page, Rod Stewart, all sorts of folks who worked with him. Even Gene Simmons managed to soften up a little bit and talk about the loss. And Lisa Marie Presley passed away today.
Like only a few hours ago.
Yeah, she was only 54. She was hospitalized. She went to the hospital with cardiac arrest, and then passed away. And she was Elvis Presley's only child, and had a kind of weird relationship with Michael Jackson, and she just lived a really weird kind of life. They were at the Golden Globes just a couple nights ago. Priscilla and Lisa Marie were to support the Elvis movie that Baz Luhrmann just did, and then boom, passed right away. Anyway, a whole bunch of people we lost this week. Sad news indeed. One of the things that I like, though, I mean, someone like Adam Rich or Jeff Beck or something like that, we still have their work from them, and that's kind of nice. That it will outlive them.
It was a hard week to be in your mid-50s.
Yeah, isn't it?
What the
It's
heck?
definitely. I mean, coming through COVID definitely, makes you rethink your life choices and things as you see friends get sick and people pass away and things like that. And that's pretty close to home. And then all these celebrities that you grew up with and people that you look at and, they're pretty known for like not doing drugs and not, boozing it up and not living a hard life, passing away at 54, 55, 56. And then you look at like, rock stars who partied every night and they're like, dude, they made it to 80. They made it to, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
Jeff, you want to take one last topic?
Sure. Sort of bring it up a little bit from the downer there.
Yes, please.
So I'm not sure where this was like it was an interview. I'm sorry, it was like a Deadline interview, I believe. But they were talking to Brendan Fraser, and they were saying, "Hey, talked about the whale and yada." And then they asked him about the Mummy, and if like for some reason they brought decided to do another sequel of the Mummy or something of his series.
Would he come back?
And he's like, "Would you come back?" And he's like, "I'm not opposed to it. I don't know an actor who doesn't want a job."
They could do an animated series. He could do the voice.
He says, "I don't think I've been this famous and unsalaried at the same time in my professional life. So sign me up." So yeah,
That's awesome.
That's funny.
Hey, I'm going to jump in real quick and say hi to Tiffany Grassman. Tiffany and I went to high school together.
Wow. Hi, Tiffany.
We got in trouble once for having an 8-hour phone conversation and freaking our parents out. It was pretty funny. But good to see you,
I think
Tiff.
the Renfield review was last week.
We
So,
did.
Tiffany,
Of the
you did
trailer.
miss the Renfield trailer.
Yeah, we did talk about it last week. It looks amazing. We love Nicholas Hoult, and how the hell does he look so good? What a jerk.
Although I've been watching The Great. I watched the first episode and a half.
Oh, but he's such a jerk.
He's such a jerk in that. It's really hard to watch.
I'm walking through the room and I just look at what he's doing. I just shake my head and I leave.
Yeah, I don't think
Colleen's
that I can.
watching it. I'm like, ugh.
I don't think that I can watch any more of it because I don't want to hate him.
Right. Well, you should see how many episodes he's in, and if he only survives another couple episodes.
I think he survives the whole season.
Oh, really? Oh,
Unfortunately.
no.
Yeah, everybody's trying to
He's-
kill him.
He's such a jerk.
He
my
deserves
God.
to die,
And yeah,
his character.
He's just awful, and we love him, and we don't want to see him be a jerk.
Yeah. I'd like to do a quick shout out to both Michelle Yeoh and Ki Hoi. I'm so bad
Ki
with
Hoi
names.
Kwan?
Yes, Ki Hoi Kwan. For the Golden Globes. Michelle.
Well, first off, congratulations.
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah, they're probably watching.
And I saw a beautiful photograph where Michelle Yeoh's co-star, their co-star,
Jamie
short
Lee
hair,
Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, was sitting next to her, and the joy and shouting yes that Jamie Lee Curtis exhibited when Michelle Yeoh won the award was a thing of beauty.
Her tweet was once a cheerleader, always a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And
That's cute.
because it just basically showed her going, yeah, just like completely freaking
Right.
out.
It was good.
It was so great.
It was really good.
And I love that Ki Hai Kwan in his acceptance speech mentioned that Jeff Cohen of Truffle Shuffle fame and the Goonies became his lawyer and set up his contract deal
right.
with this. And he gave him a thanks in his speech.
And when Michelle
Pretty
Yeoh
cool.
gave her acceptance speech, they tried to play her off the stage. And she said, "Shut up. I can beat you up."
Right. But the thing that's most notable, Ki Hai Kwan, of course, is our age now. He's like 50, 55, 56, whatever. And Michelle Yeoh is, 61? Something like that. And this is her first award, first Golden Globe. And it's just,
Is it her first Emmy award?
I don't know. I imagine she must have gotten something.
Ki Hoi,
Yeah.
I don't know why that breaks my brain. Ki Hai Kwan.
You can't look at it and say it.
It's
is the
because
problem.
the Y
Oh,
and the
man.
Q just,
Just a
I
short
can't
round,
get
you
my
know?
tongue around it. Is 51.
Oh, okay. So Michelle Yeoh, let me see what
I can say Michelle Yeoh.
awards she's won. Awards honors.
She's 60.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, she's got like a whole bunch of different awards, but I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
think she has like anything really big. She's been honored like through AFI. She's been
Yeah.
honored through Indian film festivals, Asian film festivals, and things like that.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
she's got
She
some,
won the Hollywood Critics Association Mid-Season Film Awards.
but she did not win the AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Award.
Oh. But all of her, she won one award before she did Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
So then she did Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh, actually she,
She has a Saturn Award for Best Actress.
yeah, all of these awards, they're all for Everything Everywhere.
Yeah, they're all
at Once.
they're all this year. They're all this
Yeah.
year.
oh wow.
That's crazy.
All these awards.
But
That's amazing.
you know, it makes one wonder if she's going to be up for an Oscar.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
She's got a lot of wins though, but they're all this year.
15, 16,
That's
17,
crazy.
18, 19, 20.
If you haven't seen the movie though, I really recommend it. It's a really terrific movie.
26,
It's absolutely nuts. Well, Colleen counts. Let me jump in here.
28 wins.
Wow, that's pretty good, and she deserves it. She was
Yeah.
she carried
Nice.
the movie. It's amazing.
Nice.
Let me jump in and remind you that you are listening to Sci-Fi.radio. You could be watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, any of those things. The show is Docking Bay 94. I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby,
This is just Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
and thanks for being here. We'll talk about
She won Best Actress in the Saturn Awards.
yeah,
Yay.
and as she should. I mean, it was the weirdest freaking movie though. But honestly, it had so much in common with Doctor Strange. Yet, I think Colleen and I walked out of Everything Everywhere All at Once feeling like they did multi-dimensional stuff better
Way better.
than they
Way
did in Doctor
better.
Strange. Like Doctor
Yards.
Strange had some cool moments where they went from like dimension, whatever. But but we really enjoyed the way they portrayed it in
And
Everything Everywhere All at
the
Once.
portrayal, everybody who was in this was amazing. Michelle Yeoh was amazing. Ki Hai Kwan, sort of, but almost.
You did it.
Was amazing. The roles that they both played were so
Jamie Lee
good.
Curtis
Jamie Lee
was
Curtis.
cool.
The only thing that was hard was the hot dog fingers.
Hot dog hands.
Yeah.
Colleen did not
I'm
like
not
hot
a
dog
fan
hands.
of hot dog hands.
Not a huge fan of hot dogs anyway. But
Yeah.
but yeah, she's got a bunch of special awards here too. The Kirk Douglas Award from the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, Outstanding Achievement in Cinema. This wasn't even for this year. This was 2019. She's got a lot of Asian film awards, of course, throughout her career. 1998, which I think was probably Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Ki Hai Kwan got just as many awards for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
He was good too. He was, and it was just good to see him back. I was just glad to see him do another movie. It was pretty great. It was one of those movies I was kind of dodgy about going into, and then I just really was glad I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Michelle Yeoh has been doing things like Kung Fu Panda.
He has 43 awards in 2022 and 23 for.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot. Apparently, and I didn't watch this. Apparently, Michelle Yeoh was in Star Trek Discovery for 3 years.
Yeah.
Huh.
The Witcher Blood Origin. Crazy.
How do you accept all these awards? What do you do with them all?
I think, well, I don't know what you do with them all. I think sometimes you loan them out to places, like you put them on display. Especially, I think especially if you are, this is not going to be the proper terminology, and sorry if I offend somebody. If you're like in
If you're BIPOC?
like a marginalized group,
Yeah.
because it's important for people to see these awards. And so a lot of times you win them and then you give the statue to someone who's going to put it on display somewhere, so that people can go, yes, cool. Somebody I can identify with is making it and doing it and winning. All that stuff is really kind of important.
Yeah.
But I believe at some point, if you have a hit movie, like, if you were in Everything Everywhere All at Once, or you were in Titanic, or you were in whatever, accepting awards becomes your job for about a year.
Yeah.
Guess so.
I think that's just what you do. You go to film festivals, you rep your movie, you get awards, you give speeches, and then you consider your next project, because that's a job in and of itself, just running around picking up all these statues. There was a very fun, speaking of statues, there was a very fun thing in that Dolly Parton trailer for the Dolly Parton lookalike, where she's in the office and she tips over one guy's series of awards that domino into the fish tank, and all hell breaks loose. The reason it made me laugh so hard is our friend John Paulson was a marketing director for a local what do you call it?
Credit union.
Credit union. Thank you. And he won so many awards. He had so many statues in his office. And I joked about that. I'm like, we should put them all up and domino these things down the hall. It'd be really cool. And it made me think of that, and it made me laugh. I thought it was very cool. Do we have anything else important that we want to do before we wrap up?
I do not think so.
Okay, we have a whole bunch of stuff we did not even get to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there were so many flipping trailers. What were there, 12 trailers or something?
Something.
It was nuts.
Quite a bit.
And so many of them seemed out of time. They really seemed like they should have been in the Halloween season.
Yeah.
Except for
14
something.
trailers.
Yeah. Well, except something for like Wednesday, which, gained popularity over Halloween. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
What are we doing this weekend?
Gosh, I don't know. I think I'm supposed to be bowling or something, right?
Yeah, you're joining me, right? To go bowling? Are you going to drive here and ride up with me? Do you want to drive your own car? I don't think we're putting the cars on display that I know of.
Yeah.
So if you want to meet me here and drive up, you can. Colleen was debating coming and just hanging out. But
I might bowl one game, but
she could also stay here and
Yeah.
use her time more wisely. This is the holiday party for the 501st and the Rebel Legion, which they're just now getting around to. We're very slow on events right now during February and January, which is good. I should be using the time to get my costumes in order. But yeah, we're gonna go and do. We're trying to decide on names for our team. We have two of them. One is Stay on Target, for which I've already done some art, and the other one is Score Matters Not.
Yeah.
Which I have to do. So I was going to try to get us T-shirts in time for Saturday,
Yeah,
which I would have to pull together tomorrow, which I might be able to do. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Because we never used the BB-8 shirts.
No, it's still in my drawer.
Yeah, I've got it. I took it out.
Maybe 9 pins or something.
BB-10 pins, yeah. And
10 pins,
I tried to get the people who were on our team to form another team. They're like, oh, we're busy. We're not going to go.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever. So it makes me sad.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Anyway, so we're going to do that, and I will tell you now, if you were one of the people who bought into HasLab's Ghostbusters Afterlife Proton Pack,
Dustin opened his.
watch your email, watch your porch, because they're getting sent out. I expect mine tomorrow. Colleen just said our neighbor opened his tonight. He got his. I got my gun stick just in time. I got the Neutrona one just in time, so I can have a full set, which will make me happy.
Cool. Ow.
And then I'm thinking of getting another one and putting it on the Spirit Pack, which is originally what I was going to do with that, so that we have 2 Proton Packs, and then we'll get Colleen a jumpsuit. She can come play.
There you go.
The Spirit Pack would fit her really well.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I got a nice kit to make it look all fancy,
Yeah.
and since all the special effects are contained inside the gun stick, we don't even have to do much electronically with it.
I still want to make the cartoon ones. So.
Totally. Which we just need the weather to clear up, and so we can get to work on foam in the backyard.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't paint out here either because it's too rainy to paint.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it all shakes out. I guess if that's it for all of us, I'll thank you guys for tuning in. We're always grateful when you do. If you're doing so over on sci-fi.radio, I will be there in the morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We will be doing this all over again with the music and the kind of stuff that I usually do wrapping up the week. If you are watching us on Twitch or on Facebook or on... sorry, I just got a thing that says, hey, restart your computer to update it, which usually seems to happen right before the show. Maybe it's learning, and it's doing it after the show.
That'd be something.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. You can always find our old shows under the live tab on YouTube, and I think it's just youtube.com/DB94. I think that'll get you there. For people listening on the radio, United States, Japan, Switzerland, Estonia, Germany, Russian Federation, we're glad to have all you guys on board. And wherever you happen to be checking us out, thank you, because otherwise we would be talking to ourselves for 2 hours. And as much as we love each other's company, that just seems kind of sad.
I'm calling Kayla Crosby.
Just sold out a hole.
I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby. As always, may the Force be with you. I'm going to throw our credit screen up on the video. And for our radio people, I'm cutting you loose. See you later, all. And for the video people, I want you to take a look over at the screen there. It has cosmomoose.bandcamp.com. Chris Medway is the guy who did our theme that you heard at the beginning of the show. and he has cut loose and has gone to all music all the time. Check him out. Listen to his stuff. It's pretty good. He makes it all himself. And support him if you like him, huh? Just thought I'd get that going. See all you guys next week or tomorrow if you tune in to Good Morning Tatooine. We'll see you later, everybody.
Good night.